So you got the meeting. Someone, a real human, an actual industry insider, said yes to meeting you, and you have 30 minutes with them. Now you're in your car outside the coffee shop, rehearsing your elevator pitch, sweating through your shirt, wondering if you should have worn the other shirt. I'm going to stop you right there, because what most people do in that 30 minutes actually destroys the relationship before it even starts. And I'm going to show you exactly what to do instead so that you crush it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to run a 30-minute conversation that turns a complete stranger into someone who genuinely wants to help you, without pitching yourself, without asking for a job, and without feeling awkward for a single second. And even if you do feel awkward, it actually works to your advantage. I call it the reverse interview. And once it clicks, it's like getting a cheat code for human connection. It's amazing. It works every time. Every person I've taught this method comes back after their first reverse interview, and they all say the same thing. Warren, why did nobody teach me this before? That's the reaction I'm going for today. That's what I want for you. Here's the thing. Most people treat this meeting like a job interview. Don't do that. They walk in thinking, I need to impress them. I need to impress this person. I need to pitch myself. I need them to like me. And that energy, that desperate, pleading, please pick me energy, people can smell it from across the table, and it makes them uncomfortable. You don't want that. And it definitely doesn't impress them. It's like showing up to a first date and then immediately pulling out a ring, right? It doesn't make sense. It's a disconnect. Don't do that. Here's the only mindset shift you need going into this meeting. You are not the interviewee. You're the interviewer. You're interviewing them. Think of yourself as a podcast host. You've invited this guest onto your show. Your job is to ask great questions, to get out of the way and then let them talk. Listen. Zip it. That's it. That's the whole game. You want them talking, sharing their story. Because here's something I've learned after 28 years in business. Most people are walking around with a genuine, incredible story that no one has ever asked them to tell. And everyone has one. And you're about to give them that gift, the gift of getting to share their story. And that gift, it comes back to you in so many wonderful ways you can't even imagine yet, but you're about to. Okay, so you're sitting across the table from Sarah. She's the marketing director that one of your contacts introduced you to. He referred you to her, right? When you were asking for introductions and using the magic question. All right, so here you are with Sarah. You've got 30 minutes with her, 30 minutes on the clock. So how do you actually start? You open by setting the frame. It goes something like this. Sarah, it's a pleasure meeting you. I'm so grateful that Mike connected us. Thank you for making time. I know you're busy and we have 30 minutes together. And I've got a handful of questions about your career journey that I'm really excited to ask. But before we get started, I'd love to hear how you and Mike met. And then we can dive into the questions I have for you. Sound good? Now, of course, they're going to agree and they're going to go, blah, blah, blah. Me and Mike met, pickleball, college, whatever. And they're going to tell a story. Now you say, wow, that's amazing. Is it cool if I just dive in with the questions? They're always going to say yes, because you just told them the next 30 minutes are entirely about them. Don't worry. If you're wondering what about me, 2/3 of the way through the interview, we'll turn the interview around so that it's about you. But first, we want to start with them. So your first question is some version of this. So what do you actually do, Sarah? Like, not your job title, but like, what does your day actually look like? What do you think your job is? Now, it sounds simple, but most people have been asked, what do you do so many times? They answer it on autopilot, right? It's not the kind of answer you want. Now, when you ask it this way, with that little twist, you force them to actually think. Man, what is my job really? And when people think, they start sharing things they've never quite said out loud before. You've cracked the door open. Now let's swing it wider. Here's your first question. Question 1. How did you actually get into this field? People love telling their origin story. It's hardwired into us. Ask someone how they got where they are and watch them light up like a pinball machine. They can't wait to share their story. Question 2. Is this what you studied in school, or did life take you on some ridiculous detour to get here? The detours are where the gold is. Almost nobody has a straight path. In fact, most people have between 5 and 7 careers in their lifetime. And when they start telling you about the 3 years they spent doing something completely unrelated before landing in their current career, maybe it's their dream career, you just found the most interesting part of the interview. This is the gold. When they say something unexpected, and they will, just reflect it back to them with genuine, over the top curiosity. Like, for example, if they say, yeah, I was a jazz drummer for 3 years before I got into biotech. You say, with your eyes wide open, like leaning forward, I'm sorry, jazz drummer? How does jazz drummer end up in biotech? Right? That's not a scripted question. That's just being a real human. Being a real human being who finds another human being genuinely fascinating, because it is fascinating. I mean, that reaction, that authentic surprise, that is what makes people want to keep going. They think, oh, wow, this person actually cares, and they're having a good time. They're enjoying themselves. They feel good about themselves, and they see your face. And responding with a curious and even confused reaction, it makes sense because, I mean, think about it. On its face, jazz drumming seems completely unrelated to biotech, because it is. But just wait until you hear their answer. Here's question 3. What's your favorite part of your job? And what's the part you quietly complain about when you get home? The second half always gets a laugh. And then it also always gets a really honest and unguarded answer. People love having permission to be real. And actually, it feels good when they're telling you how it really is. Question 4. I call this the time machine question. It goes something like this. If you were starting out today, knowing everything you know now, what's the one thing you wish someone had told you that nobody did? I call this a time machine question because it sends people back to when they were you. They start thinking about their early career, their struggles, their lessons, how they first got started, and how they had their first breakthrough. And it feels amazing to them. And then they see your face. And the answer they give you, you can't get that from a Google search. That's premium, hard-earned insight. And they're giving it to you for free. And they love it. They're enjoying themselves because it's about them. Think of this conversation like a tennis match. Your only job is to keep the ball on their side of the net. Every question you ask, every response you give, it should keep them talking and helping them go more and more into their story. Expound more. Tell me more, right? Here's your playbook. Most people's favorite radio station, how do they say it, is WIFM. What's in it for me, right? Me. So here's point number 4, the magic pivot. All right. The magic pivot. This is the point. This is the moment everything changes. Here's the part of the reverse interview that I genuinely love talking about. About halfway through, if you've been curious, if you've kept the ball in their court, if you've reacted like a real person instead of a nervous robot, something shifts in the room. They shift from answering your questions and they start asking theirs about you. Because let's face it, the only type of people who do these meetings, who do these type of reverse interviews, are people who are looking for work, or people who are starting a career. They know you want a job. And that's why it's so powerful to not ask them, are you hiring? Right? You're doing something different. You're asking them questions about them. And now they're going to shift and they start asking questions about you. So, Ralph, what kind of work are you trying to get into? What field? What have you tried so far? What are your goals? This is what I call the magic pivot, where you help them turn the interview around and onto you. And it's the whole point. It's the whole reason why you're even doing this. And here's why it happens. When you make someone feel genuinely seen and heard, when you light up at their story, when you ask thoughtful follow-ups, when you treat their journey like it actually matters, something very human kicks in. They start seeing themselves in you. They remember what it was like when they first got started. They remember what it felt to be young and ambitious and figuring it all out when they didn't have it all figured out. They remember when someone sat across from them and asked good questions. And because you haven't asked them for anything, they naturally want to help you. So now you've gone from a stranger to a mentee in less than 30 minutes. Not by pitching yourself, not by showing them your resume. No, definitely don't do that. And not by pretending to be someone you're not. Just by being genuinely curious about and interested in another person's story and their journey. It works every time. It works with CEOs, directors, founders, hiring managers. It doesn't matter. Humans are humans. And everyone has a story, and you just pulled their story out of them, and they see your face, and they make that positive association of how they feel with looking at you. And so naturally, they want to help you. So now you're at about 2/3 of the way through the meeting. The energy is great. They've been talking. The pivot has happened. It's been a real conversation. Now what? 2 things most people do wrong here, okay? Option A, they awkwardly let the meeting just fizzle out. No clear ending, no next step, just a sad little, well, thanks so much, bye, trailing off into the parking lot. Or option B, they panic and blurt out, so are you guys hiring? Don't do that. Please don't do that. Here's the move. This has genuinely been so helpful. Thank you, Sarah. Before I let you go, can I ask you one more question? They're going to say yes. Here's the question you ask. If you were me, who else should I be talking to? That one question right there, it has opened more doors for my clients than any resume, cover letter, or any LinkedIn DM or profile ever has. Because now they're in full advice mode, right? You've primed them up by getting them to share their story, and they're invested in your success. Not only are they going to introduce you to people, because you just asked them, who else should I be talking to? They might even give you advice. They might recommend a book or a conference or an event that's coming up. They might even invite you. Their brain starts scanning their entire network for people who should know you. One conversation just became a web of conversations. And that's how the hidden job market actually works. Not by mass applying online or spam applying, but by having one good conversation that leads to another, that leads to an opportunity that no one even knew existed. But you now have this special privilege for that opportunity. And it comes with this influence of this relationship you just connected. Now, you've just had a genuinely great conversation. Sarah loved it. She gave you 2 new names to reach out to. You're walking out of that coffee shop feeling like an absolute legend. And then you go home. You do nothing. 2 weeks go by. 3 weeks go by. Sarah has completely forgotten who you are because she's just back into work mode. Not because she didn't like you, but because life moves fast and you disappeared. Here's the thing. This is where most people blow it. You've just spent all this time to get the meeting. You've had the meeting. It went great. And the place where they blow it up is they don't follow up. In the next video, I'm going to show you the 4-touch follow-up system that takes one good conversation and turns it into a real lasting relationship. The kind where people are genuinely rooting for you, referring you, and thinking of you when something comes up. And your competition is absolutely not doing this, which means it's your unfair advantage. And you can go back to them multiple times. All right, so here's your one assignment this week. I want you to go set up one reverse interview. Just one, okay? Go do it. Go use this stuff. You've already got the tools to land the meeting from the last video, how to ask for introductions, right? Now go use them and show up as the interviewer, not the interviewee. And if you want to practice your questions before you go in for real, come join us inside the Momentum School community. We do live role play sessions specifically for this. Zero pressure, real feedback, people who are on the same page, on the same journey as you. It's a lot of fun. The link's in the description down below. Come join us. Momentumschool.com is the URL. And if this video helped, hit the like button. It'll take you half a second and a twitch of your thumb. It means a lot for us. It'll help the channel, and it also helps teach the algorithm, blah, 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 right? And plus, it's a generous thing to do because it's going to help somebody else find us. If you like this, wouldn't you want somebody else to get the same benefit too? By the way, before you click off this video, can I ask you one more question? See what I did there? Subscribe to our channel, okay? Because remember, the follow-up system, remember how important that is? You don't want to miss this next video. It's a game changer. I'll see you there, or maybe inside the community. But wait, before you arrive to the meeting, there's a couple things you need to do here.